the Spyderco Sprint Run Yojumbo, Peel-ply Carbon Fiber, and a satin blade, CPM-S90V in Crucible. Pretty much their standard they've been putting out of the last 4 or 5 years of all the golden models with the carbon fiber and the S90V blade. Now they did do the Native Chief smooth, and I think the Shaman was smooth, but they're back to the Peel-ply, especially since this knife is self-defense oriented. I didn't expect them to have I really like the Native Chief, you know, the way the scales came out with the smooth carbon fiber. Nested liners, skeletonized, you can see that. Compression lock. This is the full-size version of the Yojumbo 2. So it's dropping right now. I actually got it quite a bit ago. I just haven't had time to get the video up, but $245 is the price. Knife Center, I don't think it's dropped. Blade HQ, DLT, GP knives as of Saturday when I'm filming this. I think it's the 5th. I think Knife Works has dropped a Premier. Blade Ops has dropped a Premier. The Premier, they get a certain amount. They put them up and then they're gone. I think under 10 knives, the Premier. I'm not quite sure how that works, but they will have more to drop here. National Knives. I didn't quite look who's got it right now. It's in flux. I know St. Nick's had them, Indiana Knives had them, but you're just going to have to check and follow the thread. I'll link that in the description on Spyderco forums about the, you know, they kind of people keep posting exactly where they're available. Shows the info on this. It is a big knife, 3.98 inch blade length, 3.7 millimeter blade thickness. The cutting edge is big. That's what's nice. No choil. 5.1 ounces. I'm not sure if the carbon fiber is lighter or not. Michael Janich is the designer. Again, this is the full-size model of the Yojumbo 2. And I was watching the video, I think the Blade HQ, there was a Knife Center, and Eric was talking about maybe there may be a micro version, you know, maybe under 3 inch. It's in prototype. I don't know if they're actually going to do it. So if you haven't bought a Yojumbo 2 yet, you have to know, like, you know, if you're going to try to Spidey flick these knives, it's very difficult because it's a self-defense oriented knife. The detent's very strong, and it's included on this one. You know, this is a roll-on unless you have like monster fingers where you can flick it out. What I did on my Yojumbo 2, since I don't really flick much, but I did lighten the detent, which it's not something I would recommend everybody doing, but if you know what you're doing, you could take the knife apart, and where the break is on the compression lock, you could just take a tiny bit of pressure. If you take too much, you may get blade rock. So like I said, it's not something that, if you don't know what you're doing, to try, but I just want to let everybody know they do have heavy detents on them. You know, it's not something that's just going to be a fidget knife, you know, unless you have really strong fingers. So comparable to, I put a short out before I left on this knife just to show it, the St. Nick's Native Chief, and it didn't just turn out that well, so I deleted it. But this is to the Native Chief. They're both pretty similar. You can see the cutting edge length because of the choil on the Yojumbo is a little bit bigger. You know, a lot of guys like that this comes all the way almost to the pivot, you know, no choil. But it's just a personal preference. This is obviously going to be a lighter knife, and because there's no you know, there's no humpy, it's a little bit thinner profile if you look at it, you know, in the pocket. But two different knives, obviously. But it just goes to show you the overall size of the Yojumbo. It's a big knife. Combat Trodone, if you have one of these, you know, it kind of shows you the overall length. It's about the same, pretty close to the same in overall length, obviously when it's open. And then the handle you know, without the glass breaker is pretty similar. The paperwork. The box. These are dropping now. They are available. If you like this style, I mean, even if you're not a self-defense guy, it's a great utility knife. I carried my Yojumbo 2 for at least 6 months. I put a deep carry clip on it from Lynch, and it was just a stellar knife for every day. A lot better than I thought. I had to get used to kind of cutting boxes with it because a lot of times I was stabbing the tip into the ground when I was cutting all the way down. But these are powerful utility blades. You know, I know it's a self-defense theme, but these are great knives, especially with this hollow ground blade. And this tip, you could just do a lot of work with these tips. But I have rounded mine off a little bit. That's going to happen, especially if you drag it through cutting. You know, if you're hitting the ground or the concrete or wherever you're cutting, if you're not using a mat. You know, I think even over time, you're just going to wear the tip down a little bit. But these are just stellar knives for everyday carry. And this is just obviously the large version of it, you know, for big hands. You can see how much room it's got. It's pretty comfortable. You know, I have double XL to double XL, but I'm not very wide. You know, I have really long fingers. It's just comfortable. I like it because the Yojumbo 2, if you have one, it gets almost too skinny in this area. This is just a meaty, you know, nice blade all around, if you can carry something this large. So, hope everybody's doing well. Hoping I can get some more videos out here shortly. I also wanted to show this really quick. I don't get to usually do this before some of these knives sell out. This is the Para 3 Lightweight from St. Nick's. It's going to drop on the 11th at the noon Central Time, which on the coast, you know, Pacific Time will be 10 o'clock. So this is the Para 3 Lightweight with the CPM-S90V DLC, just to let people know. I think this was going to be $135, and it's going to be a run of 1,600, which, you know, should give you an opportunity to get one, and they're also allowing 2 per household. So take care of yourself. Have a good weekend.